Morning, guys. What is up, everybody? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. The mic. All right. Okay. What is up, everybody here in the stream? I am DSwordfish, the caster for tonight, and I'll be casting the UGC Dota 2 League. Crystal Maiden or Tryin versus Page 1. Even though it's now all fucking deck, you win my. Sorry for that. I was supposed to have a co-caster today as well for both, but he sadly couldn't make it because of some scheduling issues. It is an amateur league, so it's hard to get an exact time. He was AFK when the match was made, and sadly he couldn't come in. So it's quite the pity, but I'll be solo casting instead. And for those of you wondering who I am DSwordfish, also known as Alvarosave on Twitch. Feel free to give me a follow on Twitter at DSwordfish. You can see it in the title, or look up Alvarosave on my Twitch, or obviously you can go look up Darklight as well, which is my Spanish caster name, on Facebook, and you can see all my Twitch and streams and whatnot there. I casted both English and Spanish, but now my channel is going to be exclusive for English casting, hopefully, and I'll be casting in UGC channel, obviously, their own league. Which I'm pretty happy to cast, honestly. A lot of good amateur teams, and also a new internet connection was acquired today, by me, so hopefully no more cuts, which I've been suffering a little bit of lately. My ISP needs to be good to me. I'm going to pray to the ISP gods. Anyway, these two teams are teams which I haven't seen really. I know they're also playing in the Joint Dota League, which is decent. It's pretty good. Like, I mean, everyone can join the Joint Dota League, but it's pretty good. And they have some good stats, especially Crystal Maiden or Tryin. I think they're 5-1 Central League, so they're doing pretty well. CMDT is obviously trying to become a proper team. I think fucking deck you in might is not the case there, but yeah. Now let's talk about the draft. Now, well, it's interesting to see that Terrorblade has been banned. Actually, I was analyzing Terrorblade ever since that little update, and I think he's quite useless right now. It's really easy to counter him, honestly. His illusions aren't that great. I don't know. He's one of the worst illusion-based heroes right now, which is that small change. He's really a glass cannon, so a little bit of magic damage counters Terrorblade. I think the Crystal Maiden was just kind of following the trend of banning Terrorblade and not really questioning why they banned him. The Legion Commander makes a little more sense, and Magnus is quite an interesting ban, actually. I know Alliance has been playing Magnus really well, but it's not like he's that powerful yet. It relies a lot on positioning, though. It's not a bad ban. It's just not seen in competitive as much. The rest of the bans are pretty typical. Then as for the picks, we're going to see that Lich, Ogre Magi, and Centaur Warrior are quite interesting. So they got one core and supposedly 2 supports, I'm assuming for now. That's pretty good. The Ogre Magi pick has been actually quite popular lately because of the I am right 60% of the time. No, I messed up the quote. I am 100% accurate 60% of the time. That's it. But anyway, point is, it actually got a good hero, especially since they buffed his little multicast, a little bit more viable and less reliant on RNG, so that's pretty great. Ogre Magi is quite a good support now, doesn't require, I mean, he does require Arcane, actually. The only issue I see is the Ogre Magi core is a little bit more favored now, I would honestly say, because it requires a little bit more of Arcane boots, but whatever. The rest of his team, not like Lich needs any items, to be honest, so Ogre Magi can easily be the number 4 support. He can still play as a core, it's a possibility. As for Crystal Maiden and Tryin, they have quite a weird lineup, actually. The Clockwork Scarlet Mage combo is actually quite great. Let's see the cogs in, and the Mystic Flare is quite nice. And the question is really why this Witch Doctor was picked. I know Witch Doctor is one of those heroes that in this meta is really favored due to the long matches. Witch Doctor excels in long matches. But still, it's a little bit of a questionable pick. He needs something to combo with usually. It's not usually support picked solo. It could be a potential Void. I would definitely ban the Void if... in fact, sorry. It could be easily combo with Void, but again... Void is off. I mean, there's more heroes I guess it could be put with, like something like any sort of. I mean, I suppose like what Elder Titan. I mean, I guess a possibility. Other such heroes with this big stun, Magnus obviously, but Magnus hasn't banned, so that's obviously off the table. Earthshaker perhaps, some of these big wombo combo guys. I don't think he's that great as a support alone, but it's a possibility. We still have to see it picked. And they'll pick Morphling, by the way, for the last hero for Page 1. I keep saying, I want to say this, but like, I'm obviously not allowed to. So, Morphling will be the last hero. It's fine. It's a decent hero, again, really excels in this meta with late game, but I don't know how well it'll do Spectre against a Spectre, because Morphling is really a single target hero, and the idea that, in the sense that, you know, it kind of shotguns someone and hopefully he dies and then you kind of run away. There's not much more you can do. I mean, he has great right clicks, not like he doesn't. Especially now that E-Blade has become a little bit better, but I don't think Spectre should have much trouble killing a Morphling, especially with that Desolate. In fact, Spectre should actually have the complete advantage against a Morphling. The Haunt, which is a main season illusion-based hero, obviously plus the possible Manta that Spectre usually picks up, and the Heart of Thorax he usually picks up as well, and Dispersion makes him really hard to kill. In addition to the fact that he is hard to kill just as one, you need to kill the illusions, or you need to do something about the illusions at least, and Morphling does not have the power to do so. It's not like anyone in Page 1's teams actually has the power to kill illusions really easily. They don't have a lion or anything of the sort. And more importantly, the Desolate is actually quite a good counter against Morphling's high armor, so I don't think that's the greatest pick for Morphling, but hey. It's a pick. I mean, I honestly think Crystal Maiden are trying to have a little bit more of a clear strategy, except for that Witch Doctor pick, which is unusual, but it's still not like it's still not, you know, crazy. It's unusual that they decided to get Witch Doctor, but it's not like they're going to lose the game just for that. They're missing, by the way, a mid, actually, unless Witch Doctor has to be a core, which actually would be really interesting to see, or Scarlet Mage, either one would be really interesting to see, but I think it's probably going to be a normal, typical mid. And since Morphling is actually quite well countered, I wouldn't go for something like an Elder Titan, for example, because there's really no need for it. Perhaps a little more ganking mid, a possibility to have a Puck or something of the sort, but the other team already has a lot of magical damage. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't criticize if they actually decide to pick a Rubik, for example, and go for a core Scarlet Mage or Witch Doctor, just due to the fact that most of the damage from Page 1 is really just magical. They lack physical damage. So that would not be the worst of ideas, honestly. Or an Ember Spirit as well would be quite decent. Any hero which really does pretty well against magical damage. You know, it's two possibilities. I think the Ember Spirit actually would be a little bit favored, even though they have nerfed him slightly. But you know, I think those two would be my ideal picks, really. And as for, I mean, we're going to see in 15 seconds, but as for Page 1, it's kind of hard to say. They need a mid as well. Both teams need mids, and obviously the Viper's banned. The Viper would have been my first pick for Crystal Maiden. And they're going to go for Razor, which is a decent mid. I mean, it's kind of more of those mids that's viable in all situations, not quite a counter, and it goes pretty well with their team, but nothing too special. So now, I mean, he's one of those mids that can really do well in most situations. I wouldn't say he's the best, though, because his static link is more about physical damage, and these guys or mainly magical damage. Then on the other hand, you also have a lot of single target damage by Ogre, Magi, Lich, and Morphling. So the Razor has, you know, there's two. It's a double-edged sword. In both senses, he's good and bad. So Page 1 need a mid as well. And against a Razor, this mid is definitely going to lose the lane. So they either need a mid that can recover easily, say for example a Storm, but a Storm will be crushed a little too hard, or something like, say, I don't know, mid that can win the lane regardless. They could go for like something like a Juggernaut mid or Kunkka or something of the sort, which I mean could be a possibility. A very fast mid as well, Luna. I'm saying a little crazy things, but it's just because you need some creativity against Razor. Venomancer is also considered pretty good, and they're gonna go for a Zeus. Oh, nice. So I think I actually really like the Zeus pick by Page 1. It adds to the magical damage, and usually it's just like, you know, a lineup that relies solely on magical damage is kind of scary because, you know, you can get BKBs. But none of Crystal Maiden's heroes, except for maybe Razor and Clockwork, possibly are BKB carriers usually. More importantly, I can't imagine one of them really getting a pipe either. Perhaps Spectre, perhaps Razor, one of the two. But it's still not an usual item build-up for any of them. Clockwork could be possibly the best carrier for a pipe. And also, it's the fact that they picked Zeus last, which kind of defines them as a magical damage lineup, which is kind of good, because Crystal Maiden, like I said, did not pick anything to counter this magical damage, and they should have been able to tell, just by getting Ogre, Magi, Center One, or Lich. That's already enough magical damage to warrant the pick of, say, a Rubik. And people really forget the null field and how great it really is. I mean, it could have also, and Zeus also is another great thing that he does, is that he picks up the Veil Discord, usually, is his usual build-up, so that's actually quite nice. I don't know if I have sound in this game. No. I can't barely hear anything. Okay, I can hear something now. Alright. So I'm having hotkey problems, alright. But we should be good. Alright, we should be good. And my new internet is actually working fucking fantastically. But I'm going to close Twitch just in case. But it's working pretty well for now, it seems. Oh well, I actually don't know how many people are actually watching this, but okay. I can't imagine many. So it is an amateur league. You need to get these leagues out there, and it's kind of hard. But these teams actually seem quite interesting. I especially like the Zeus pick. It's actually quite a good pick. I don't know what to say. Like this Zeus is actually it really breaks. It really like makes the page 1 lineup, which is now deck you might. Yeah, like I said, might. It really makes them quite a interesting and well synergized lineup. They have a really good team fight and they rely a lot on magical damage, but it's really good for the fact that you can usually get a Billow Discord, obviously amplify the damage of your whole team. You can also get something like I mean obviously the Aghanims and stuff, but it's just that it's gonna be hard to counter a team that's so based on magical damage. Obviously most teams have a little bit more physical, a little bit more magical, and Jesus, these flags. But no team is just bent on one thing. And also the fact that Morphling now goes for the E-Blade, which doesn't make him ethereal, that's actually quite great, because the E-Blade can, hit someone and Zeus can finish him off. Morphling doesn't even need to do anything. Then he goes and kills another target because he also has a lot of good base attack damage. The only issue I see is if this goes into late game, where people can potentially buy BKBs just because they have the farm to buy BKBs, including a Spectre, for example. And more importantly, the fact that they're only really physical damage deal, or perhaps Centaur to some extent, but mostly Morphling. And in addition to that is the fact that the Morphling gets completely destroyed by a Spectre. I was analyzing this before, and I think a Morphling and Spectre is going to have a really hard time. And it's not like these heroes are particularly strong. I mean, the Ogre Magi and Centaur are not that squishy, but Lich, Zeus, and Morphling are pretty squishy. I mean, they have armor, and you think, oh, Morphling is so powerful, like he's really tanky. But it's more because of his high armor and the fact that he can easily morph into the strength. But obviously, if you start hitting him before, like if you deal so much damage, you hit him so strong that he can't really morph the strength, because the Desolate is going to allow you to do that, in addition to other nuke damage, like say the Skywrath Mage, or the Clockwork, or even the Razor, I guess to some extent, or the Witch Doctor. It's going to be quite hard for the Morphling to get out of that. And the best thing is that as he morphs strength to save himself from the Spectre, because the Spectre is going to annihilate him, he's losing the armor, which is going to save himself from all the physical damage coming from the other teammates. So I don't think this Morphling is actually quite the best pick. I like their synergy, but I don't think he's the best pick. Anyway, let's go over the teams. We're going to have page 1, which is now Deck You Might. Sorry for the horrible Australian accent. On the dire side. And we're going to have, Jesus Christ, Hevneren. I think that's the name. Hevneren, as a center warner. The Fame, in the offline position, probably. The Fame as Zeus. Mid, Allure as the carry Morphling. Kulfinor playing the support Lich, and Horza as the support Ogre Magi, and they're actually going to smoke up. Seems like they're trying to get a kill, but the other team is also pretty well together. They're really well organized, and now they just found Devil Dota. Devil Dota could be in trouble. They're going to use a Fire Blast on him, and oh god, Devil Dota is actually going to go down to Evnaden. In comes the Waveform, trying to get a single kill, but Allure might be a little bit in trouble there. He does not have the Morph yet. They have a lot of damage. They want to get a second kill, but I don't think they're going to be able to, and they're actually going to just leave that mass of blackness you can see there from the Spectral Dagger. And that was actually pretty good for both, for Deck You Might, for page 1. I'm just going to call it page 1. Because the Centaur got a little bit of gold. That's really nice for an offlaner, especially if he's going to offlane. If he doesn't even need the help from the Lich, he already has that extra little gold for the beginning, get early boots and whatnot, and pretty effective for an offlaner. Anyway, the last hits up, and let's present the Crystal Maiden, or Die Tryin, CMDT. We're going to have small... Okay, great. Small Dick Doto as the Skywrath Mage support, and with him will be Devil Dota as the Witch Doctor in the support position. And in this Tryin, the final element of this Tryin will be Ecstasy. Yeah. Wow. Ecstasy as the Spectre in the carry position. Then mid, we're going to have Trendy as the Razor, and finally playing that Clockwork in the offlane position, the team leader, Skova. Or I almost started as a team leader. Alright, well... So that little kill is actually going to give page 1 a little bit of advantage, especially because they rely a little bit more on the early game before everyone gets BKBs, which is, I mean, if they can dominate this early game. This matters all, everyone talks about, the late game, but it's a possibility that they can win the early game as well. It's not like it's crazy. Especially since they changed a little bit, and they keep changing the stupid bounty system, which everyone's against and whatnot, and Volvo just kind of, Ice Frog refuses to be wrong, and just... That's kind of what's happening, but they keep changing the bounty system to ensure that it's a little bit more fair and the combat mechanic isn't that strong. And I really see that an early game team has a little bit of a disadvantage versus the late game team just in this meta. especially early to mid game. But it's still a possibility they can win, especially if they get a nice start like that one. And Page 1 has had to commit completely to that early to mid game. And on the other hand, he has not done that. In fact, they have quite the opposite with a Spectre, Witch Doctor, such support in a carry, which really don't excel until pretty late game. And that's weird to say about the support, but it's true. And their supports all scale to late game. They have really nice mid game, early game, but not that great of a mid game either. Only Clockwork and perhaps Razor are the nice ones that can do a lot in the mid game, so I can see them having some serious trouble against Page 1 once they get to the mid game, especially if they cannot dominate that early game. So, PP. Oh, does that mean P? Does that mean he's peeing? Alright. Well, so that's actually quite interesting. I quite want to see if Page 1 can actually pull this off. It's going to be like a little bit of a hallmark. Also, just want to point out these things. Like, I know Page 1 is joking around, but still. They've also drawn like hairs, like it's clearly detailed. And we don't have a flag for the team, which I guess we do, but it's a bland flag. It's only half a flag. It's only half a Crystal Maiden. It's sad that Crystal Maiden we can't see her anymore, but hey, it's quite sad that they actually Crystal Maiden or Tryin. They have to Tryin. There's no Crystal Maiden here, so. But this flag is just a little bit unorthodox. No criticism to the team, but just I don't know. Oh well. No, we're talking about penises because it's Dota. But you know, I'm kind of doubtful to give. Like I don't know. It's kind of this game is really going to depend on how well both teams play in the early to mid game. I think that's going to decide the game. If it can get to late game, I think it's pretty much decided. Unless it's like a late game which is completely one-sided, and like Page 1 gets to late game and CMDT doesn't get to late game at all. That's a possibility. But unless that happens, late game is pretty much just CMDTs. There's no chance that even with the Zeus and with a Morphling, which have some late game, is not even half as strong as Spectre or Razor. So we're gonna see how well they do, and it's really on CMDT. I think it's their job to not make any mistakes, play really defensively, and also try not to lose many towers. The great thing about Page 1 is that they don't have that great of a ganking team. Zeus can kind of roam around and hit people, and he deals a lot of damage, but he has no way to stun. Except for that little lightning bolt, but that's not a decent stun. I think it's still a stun, yeah. It's not that great of a stun, and the Centaur is probably the only ganker there, but he still needs the Blink Dagger, and it's gonna take him some time. By then, the enemy team is gonna be able to like withstand a Centaur gank, as opposed to maybe a Clockwork, which is a star ganker. But they have to really use that to their advantage. Centaur cannot simply just dive a tower that easily, especially in the early game. So they really, especially because he's gonna be underfarmed, even with the help of a Lich, he's not gonna do that well. Even though he's actually doing pretty decently right now. But they have to prevent that from happening. Delay the late game as much as they can and play really defensively, and that would be the way to go. Oh, this is not the way to go for sure, though. Spectral Dagger actually not doing that much here, just trying to stop the Lich from moving. Okay, so I guess they want to prevent the Scarlet from dying. That would make sense, you know. You see Devil Dota is actually trying to pull the creeps to the double stack pull, which is quite great. That's gonna give a little bit more farm to the Spectre, and the quite interesting lane actually is probably the Zeus thing, not only because I love Zeus, but also because he's going to be quite a deciding factor. I think both the Centaur and the Zeus are going to be quite deciding factors in this team. The Morphling is a little bit irrelevant because it's going to take him some time to get online, but the Zeus is actually quite a powerful factor, and it's going to be because, you can see the Zeus is doing quite well. Actually, in fact, he's being the Razor. I didn't really think of this as a counter, but he is a great counter because he relies on magic spells to actually deal the damage rather than any sort of like spell. And he's not like Magnus. He has enough mana to spam these spells consistently enough to get kills. Enough to get last hits. And whenever he's not, and the static link is probably not going to be wasted on him. But whenever it is, he can just he can use spells. And whenever it's not, he can actually also use auto attacks. And sorry, I was actually looking down there, and Skova actually managed to die up top here too. Horse and Lure. That was like I thought, all of Ogre magic spell with a little waveform. Enough damage to kill a Clockwork. That was a little bit out of position, if you guys saw. Sorry about that. And the Zeus is going to be harassing Razor slightly, which is, the Zeus also can do things like, I think if he hits the lightning bolt on the ground, it's not gonna count as though the static unstable current won't hit him. So that's pretty nice actually. That's a possible Zeus trick. And now what I'm interested in is really, has the Spectre new? We don't really know what build he's gone for yet. That usually the Desolate build is really. Oh, actually, the Famous got it here in the cogs, and here comes Razor to help his teammate out a little bit. Skova unable to get the kill, but the Fame is trying to run away. He has the boots. Skova does have boots as well, and goodbye to the Fame. That final Mystic Flare is gonna finish him off. So, well, that's a little bit of a comeback for the. It's actually a lot of gold from just the Zeus for the Clockwork and the Razor. So that's gonna be quite nice, especially because the Zeus were farming pretty nicely. That's gonna interrupt his farm ever so slightly, and they're gonna give a little bit more farm to Razor. That's quite good. And the Razor's gonna go for Magic Wand. Ooh, just to rent the Zeus. And now we're gonna see Ogre Magi was just using the illusions to kind of play mind games on this Razor, which is very smarter than smart. And go back to the. I use the Smooth Dragon, sometimes it just goes back up. Oh well. Oh, actually, the Centaur's gonna be started on the Spectral Dagger coming up as well. Is the Witch Doctor? No, not gonna stun. And this Ogre Magi illusion just kind of there just to, I think, give some psychological pressure. And Ogre Magi went back top. I think it would be smart and go like this, send him his illusions, and then kind of backdoor him in case he would never expect that he would, be with his illusions and just kind of kill the Razor here with the help of the Zeus. I think that would be a possibility, but he decided not to. And Zeus also already has his ultimate. That's actually quite strong. They could easily kill the Spectre, I would say, honestly. And he would go for the Desolate build, so that's a more early game, slightly oriented build, but I don't think it's the build to go for this game. Honestly, I think I know it's crazy to say this, but I think maybe Dispersion or Spectral Dagger even would be a little bit better, just because they're both nice. I mean, obviously, I think Spectral Dagger would be the best choice here, because Dispersion does not scale that well until late game. But it's the fact that he needs to get away from this these people with the Spectral Dagger. That extra movement speed is actually quite worth it, because they have the early game no matter how much Desolate you pick up. So a level of Desolate is actually quite powerful, but multiple levels, even though it's great for usual lineups, because the Spectre is actually, in a decent lineup with a decent early game, fighting against a Zeus or a Lich or a Centaur, you might just get crushed because of the constant ganks that could happen. My thoughts, though. It could perfectly be that they're trying for a different strategy. And oh no, Ecstasy is in trouble. Here, they're gonna go on him. Oh, the Zeus ult is not coming out yet. Lich is actually being stunned right now. Lich could be going down next. And Clockwork actually kills Ogre Magi up top. Lich will be going down. That's the God's Wrath being used. And oh, can the Centaur want to run away from the evil Dota? It's still not. There's still a chance. Can he run away? He's gonna use a salve to save himself, and he's gonna be able to get away, possibly thanks to those boots. Oh no, that concussive shot! That concussive shot might actually stop him enough time. The Razor might be coming to help his teammate. No, not yet. And the Centaur Warrior might actually make it away. Just because the Razor took some time to decide if he wanted to help out or not. Which is very bad. That was really just Razor's fault. He could have easily just moved there and used the plasma field and killed him. Oh well. It's still a 2-4-3. And actually beneficial for we saw, because Skull was actually fighting the Ogre Magi up top, and Skull actually managed to kill the Ogre Magi. So he died too, but the Zeus died as well. So it was a nice trade, I would say, for CMDT. It could have just been a little better, because the Centaur definitely deserved to die, I guess, to some extent, because of the position he was in. I think it was definitely something he could do. And we see the power of Skova now. He's reached level 6. He can easily do these things where he just kind of goes around killing people. He's 2-2, which is not bad at all. He has half the heal for his team. Another thing I kind of want to talk about is the Centaur Warrior build as well. It went a 2-3-0 build, which is not common at all in the offlane. The level of return is usually grabbed so you can't be harassed. But this is what happens when you're in a duel. Oh, actually, no, they're going to let Ecstasy. Ecstasy could be in trouble, but that Spectral Dagger is trying to save him a little bit. Can they have... Oh, no, God's Wrath is actually not enough damage. And now Unstable Concoct... Oh, no, Heaven is going to die next! That flare, that rocket flare is going to be enough to kill him off. And Skova wants a little more blood. He wants the Lich, and he's going to trap him in the cogs. What is Lich going to do? He's been fire blasted, but that's not going to be enough. Goodbye, Lich. Lich is actually going to die. Here comes the Fame trying to save his teammates. Allure has the waveform. He could easily kill at least Evil Dota. Is he going to try? Is he going to dive? He knows he's there, and he's going to dive in with a waveform, and that's going to be the death of the Witch Doctor. And that's a 2-for-1 again. The enemy CMDT obviously receiving a little bit more gold, and they did kill a Lich and the Centaur. So that's actually quite great. They killed the core and support as opposed to just the core. Trendy something a little bit against the Fame, but now we see that not only are they losing the grasp on the game, the page 1, but it's important to note that they are not an early game team. they're not a late game team, so they have no chance, I would say, if they get to the late game, which is I guess the biggest thing they have to face. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry, I was just fixing some hardware problems. Alright, so we're back in the game. And we see also that the Morph thing has also been able to AFK farm pretty well, so he is much more farming than Spectre, that should be noted, actually, and so he might get to his late game before the Spectre. And honestly, I said they had no late game, but, I mean, if they can get to their late game before the Morphling gets to his late game, they have a chance. Oh no, Kulfinor AFKing for a while. The Bounty Rune, Famous trying to get it, and oh, it's gonna be denied. And he's gonna get mad, and that was a little bit unwise on his part. He's gonna be able to waste a little bit of mana, and yeah, that was not good. He just wasted the mana unnecessarily when he could have just moved to go something else. Static Link, dealing a lot of damage to Hefnet. I mean, sorry, taking a lot of damage from Hefnet. And oh no, actually, Kulfinor is in trouble, but Skull might be able to die first. And that Lich ultimate comes out, hits Small Dick Dota pretty strongly, Stampede, just to be able to kill him off. And kill secured by Horza. Lich, though, has already died. But that's a 2-for-1. So these uneven trades keep happening where, you know, not team really gets the upper hand overall. That's a 614 gold for the page 1 team, especially 320 for the Ogre Magi. That should be enough for, I mean, it's going to be enough soon for the Arcane. That's quite great. And this Morphling got a little bit of gold as well. That kill secure, though, is pretty powerful. Another thing I wanted to mention is the fact that Zeus keeps getting the Bounty Runes, which is not that smart, honestly. The Bounty Runes are not that great on something like Zeus, because he is a core. He should be farming regardless. They should, unless he's, like, really behind in farming, and it's not the case. You look at his net worth, he's actually, you know, decently, he's the third. I mean, he's not matching Morphling, because Morphling is really crazily more farming here, but he is doing better than most. And that's actually quite important, because the supports like an Ogre Magi, if he had gotten like 3 Bounty Runes, he would already have Arcane, be much more useful, be able to use that Fire Blast, plus the Ignite as much as you want to. You know, it'd be quite different. And Razor's actually going to pick up his mech, which is a really bad choice on this part, I really think. I think ever since the mech was nerfed, it's not as viable to pick it up as a core. And I think people are not thinking about this as much, because he's going to have a really low mana pool now that the mech is 225 mana. That's almost half his mana. That means that he can't use the combo, like he can't use his 3 spells if he does that. Or, sorry. Yeah, okay, he'll be able to use them, but only once in the fight. Sorry, that's what I meant. I mean, it's still like a thing, but it's just not the best in my opinion. Oh well. We'll see here now that X is actually managing to catch up a little bit on the farm. That's pretty great. He's gonna be able to destroy this tower now. Should probably go down. Oh, actually, the cogs on. Oh no, he's gonna be annihilated completely. But the Morphling has been killed already, so they're gonna have to retreat here. Oh, but in comes in there. He wants to kill, and he's gonna be able to get the kill on this Zeus. That ultimate from the Witch Doctor just trying to deal a little more damage to the Centaur, but it's not gonna be enough. In fact, they want to go on Ecstasy. They still want to fight this, and no, they decided to back off in the last second. That could have been an easy kills for Zeus, though, I think. So the Morphling got caught in the cogs and got completely annihilated. That's kind of sad. The Skull got annihilated as well by the Mystic Flare. Sorry, Skull got annihilated as well by his teammates. So, you know, I guess it was nice little trick with the bottle and the Arcane. But I guess it wasn't it wasn't a Jesus Christ, today I can't speak. It wasn't the best position for a Morphling to be in. Ecstasy is actually going to fight Morphling head on. What are they doing here? The Ignite comes out with a multicast. Allures a little bit in trouble. In fact, Raising to come in, but that waveform being used. He has no replicate. He should be having a replicate just in case. And Horza could be dying here. He has no mana, but in fact, he's going to be okay. No Arcane still on him. He's actually going to grab, I believe that might be a Yols. Actually didn't see what the items were quite clearly. No, it's an urn. Okay, it's an urn. It's us, the Sage Mask. Not a bad idea, but I really would stress the importance of getting Arcane on the Ogre Magi because of how reliant he is on having a level of multicast, which means that his skills cost so much more mana. That's kind of horrible for him, honestly, because he needs the Arcane really quickly. That's why I said he needs to be like a position 4 support. I know the Lich is going for the mech, so it's, I mean, I guess he's more important. It's more important that he gets farmed, but they really seem to have into consideration that now the Ogre Magi relies much more on multicast, and that means that he relies much more on having a lot of mana, which is something that I don't think this team is having into consideration. It's not the this tower might go down actually. Oh, they're gonna go on Trendy. Trendy is being completely destroyed here, but he's actually managed to get out thanks to that mech, and they're using that stampede to make sure that his teammate can get out. But no, right now that Lich ultimate dealing a lot of damage, but quite. Wow, that was a team wipe. That was actually a team wipe. They only need to kill Ecstasy. Ecstasy's just found out here. The Ignite hitting him, and that's gonna be a dead Spectre. Wow, I almost, like, I don't know what happened there. That Zeus ult came out, the Zeus damage came out, and you can see the power of Zeus. And oh yes, Mr. Zeus, I love you. He's gonna go for that Blink Dagger, and I'm assuming that could be Force Death. Zeus with mobility is actually much more better than the Zeus with Aghanim's. That's gonna be a disconnect. Zeus with mobility is actually much better than the Zeus with Aghanim's. Just to mention that, because quite simply, he doesn't really need that damage from the ultimate. It's not going to be that useful. It's much better if you can get in the middle of the fray with, say, and launch a couple spells. Thanks to that static field, is going to be quite powerful. And then you see that he does that, blah blah, kills a little people, then uses that Thunder God's Wrath if anyone's left alive, and then goodbye. You know, it's that's what happens really. So that's actually quite great on the Zeus part. He's doing a really good job there. Alright, well, that's pretty nice. And, oh, the mech might be coming up soon, actually, on Kulfinor. That's really good on his behalf. I mean, he's a support. He's getting a quick mech, and I'm hoping that once that happens, they can give Ogre Magi some space to farm so he can get his Arcanes, which, again, I will stress the importance of those. If he gets Tranquil, though, geez, some Ogre Magi I've seen with Tranquil, it's just, no, you can't play like that. You just can't. Oh, the Ornn also gives him a little bit of mana regen, which is quite nice, but look at his mana regen. It's 2.0. He has more HP regen than mana regen. It's just not good. Mana. Mana. Yeah. I actually don't know how to put. I need to check that. Multiple pronunciations for different things. So Tryin will be getting the haste rune, and that's gonna be possible. Gank can decide to find. Oh, they're gonna find the Fame and have Neronet right now. The Fame is in a lot of trouble. They could easily gank these people. They have a Clockwork too. Oh no, he's trying to get a chain off. He will actually find the Fame. And I don't know. Oh, the Fame actually blinks not that far away, but Skull is going to be completely annihilated here with the combination of the Zeus and the Centaur. Look at the magical damage. Wow. Wow, I honestly thought, look at that blink though. The blink actually stopped the possible cogs, and he could easily cast those things. That's why I said the mobility on Zeus is so great. And that's probably going to be a 4-staff. And honestly, I mean, Allure is a little in trouble. No, the waveform might save him. I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely not going to pursue this. He has haste. There's no way that he can do anything about it. Like, there's no way that Morph can catch him, but there's no way that he can actually kill the Morphling. His haste is about to run out. Or was about to run out. So, another interesting thing was, oh yeah, the Fame, I really do like the mobility, but it's also pretty important to note that he does have a team which is mostly magical damage, so it's definitely good to go for that, to go for a good old Discord there, because his damage for his team will be ample as a whole. It's like when you have a complete physical team, you get like a Slardar, and then you think, wow, this is so powerful. Similarly, a Veil Discord will do something similar for the magical damage in your team. It's kind of like an Assault Cuirass, but for magical damage. It's quite great. It honestly is, and they should really consider picking that up. It's not like, I mean, considering his farm, yeah, like I said, it's going to be 4-staff, but if you consider his gold per minute, he's actually doing quite well in that sense, so it's not going to be too hard to get cheap items like a Veil Discord, which is actually so really cheap. Let's look at the Morphling, by the way. The Morphling is close to his Linkens, which is going to give him a little bit of an advantage. He's going to be able to prevent things like a little bit of a stun, the silence. The only issue I see with his Linkens is the fact that he's picking up against a Skyreth Mage. and it can easily be denied with just a simple arcane bolt. So I don't quite love that choice by the Morphle. You could have easily skipped it, gone for a glass cannon build, because the Lincolns I don't think is going to give him that much. Oh, the Clockwork actually starting to Horza, and the Spectral Ultimate coming out. The Haunt plus the Witch Doctor Ultimate. Scholar might be actually dying though, and no, that mech saving his life. The Fame being dealt a lot of damage, concussive shot hitting him. And what is Centaur doing? Trying to kill this. Oh yeah, he's actually going to manage to kill this beautiful little Scarlet Mage. And Skova trying to TP away. No, he has no TP. They might actually find him now. He just bought one. Okay, he just bought one. He was trying to sell something. And ooh, the wow, interesting. Interesting, actually. They decided to buy a Hood of Defiance, possibly turn into a pipe to prevent possibly the Scarlet Mage magical damage. And actually quite good in the sense that he has a lot of single target but no area, so the pipe is really good against that. A lot of single target, because it's kind of hard to disable the pipe on every single hero with that, and that you essentially nullify the damage that a Scarlet Mage can possibly do. Like, it's gonna take the Mystic Flash is only gonna deal 200 damage. That's gonna be most of his mana. He can only do 2 of those in a fight, and obviously there's Arcane Bolts as well. So I mean, it's really a good pickup. I like it on the Centaur. I mean, I really can't see that any other mech can be a little more useful. So for now, oh no, actually, they're in a really bad position right now. Can that Paralyzing Cast hit him another time? No. He's actually gonna hit Skola with a very nicely timed stun, and he's able to get away. Ooh, that blink. It seems like the blink distances have been a little bit, like, it almost seems like they've been reduced. They're having a little bit of trouble blinking. I don't know what's happening there. We saw earlier with Zeus that blinked a really weird distance away. Oh, Zeus almost has his 4 staff. He's really only, what, 200 away? Not even 180 away. That's quite great. He's gonna be able to get this tower. That's gonna be enough, probably, for the Zeus to get his 4 staff. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the new tower gold. And that glyph being used, plus the Mystic, plus a Rocket Flare. And yeah, the pipe is going to come out for sure. That Lich Ultimate is up, and oh, in comes an end. He's actually going to manage to kill that Scarlet Mage, and that Lich Ultimate's coming out, plus the Waveform. That's going to be dead. 3 dead. The Witch Doctor, the Clockwork, and the Scarlet Mage, in addition to a tower down bottom, plus a 4 staff for the Zeus. This is great. Page 1 is doing a great job here. There's Lincoln's also up on the Morphling, and you see how it was used here. I didn't actually see what it blocked. I'm going to actually show it, that Lincoln's. Since there was nothing used on the Scarlet Mage, probably actually blocked something like a Paralyzing Cast, which is quite great. It does keep bouncing though, but it's the 1 second stun you're preventing, which is not that bad. It's actually quite a decent stun just by itself. People think, oh yeah, it can bounce, that's great, but a 1 second stun in some cases, like it's like what close to a level 1 bench, Mystic Magic Missile, close to level 1 Magic Missile. I think it's like 0.55 less or 0.35 less or something of the sort. And actually, the courier was killed. I didn't see that, but you know that's it's a decent amount. You know, actually quite a decent amount. Oh well. And that is a nice little stun there. In addition to some damage, if you can hit the heroes a lot, so it's not the worst stun, honestly. Just not the most reliable either. Either way. He's going for the Yasha now, the Morphling, so not E-Blade yet, which I think is quite a mistake considering how strong the E-Blade would be in his lineup. But I guess he's also thinking, okay, I cannot kill the Morphling that easily with single target damage. Oh, the Haunt, I mean the Spectre that easily. Oh, Haunt coming out a little bit weirdly. I don't know what this Haunt was for, actually. But yeah, I think he's thinking, I cannot kill the Spectre with just with single target damage. That's probably what he got a Yasha, went for a little bit more of a, you know, a little more attack damage and then physical damage. That's great to manage to kill the Spectre. Now he's not only single target with his shotgun build, but he has a lot more than that. So it's decent. It's not like the E-Blade doesn't give him a lot of damage in armor. It's just that, yeah, actually quite a good idea on his part. So yeah, that's nice. I suppose I could see why he would go for Yasha. It's only that the rest of the team on CMDT could easily be destroyed by a shotgun build. Oh well. And Zeus hopefully going for the Veil of Discord next, considering there's no E-Blade, so there's no amplified magical damage yet. But I think it's definitely coming out next, the Veil of Discord. I think it's just the right choice. And actually, Clover's going to smash with Kato's Horza, but that ultimate coming out as well. Morphling not only killing, actually Scarlet Mage dying to the Zeus ultimate, and Horza dying to the Clockwork here. The Fame tries to kill Trendy, but he's going to have a hard time thanks to unstable current. He's actually having a really hard time, and what happened? Okay, 1 hit from Major almost took half his health away. Jesus, I didn't realize he stole that much damage. The Zeus was being a little bit careless there. That's going to be a huge gold advantage for the CMDT team. That's 1,300 damage, gold for Clockwork. That's what I'm talking about, by the way, with the comeback mechanic. He's gonna go for the blade mail, which is, I mean, oh, actually, Ecstasy might be dying here complete to have Nair, and that's gonna just, you know, he's gonna just disintegrate there. And yeah, blade mail is not my favorite item on Clockwork. It's an item, I guess. I would say that it's an item. He's just, I guess it's cheaper, and he's having a really hard time farming, so that's why he's not going for the Aghanims, but Aghanims upgrade on Clockwork is one of the best. Also, another issue which I have is the fact that he went for Phase Boost instead of Arcane. That really limits his ganking potential. You think, oh, Phase is great, but, you know, it really isn't that great. In the sense that, yeah, you can catch up with people and do cogs, but the amount of times you can do that is quite low. And especially if you get an Aghanim, you just get chains all around, you know. The Blade Mail is a build, but he's not like he's complete, you know, he's fighting against guys that nuke and have no way to, and have like really low health. Like, yeah, Zeus dealing a lot of damage, but if Zeus is low on health, then Local Magic can just kill him, or Lich can just kill him. It's not like there's one nuker. It's not like there's only one Zeus, and that Blade Mail is going to stop him completely. And Zeus is going to go for BKB. I'm assuming either that or Aghanims. I hope it's BKB. It would make a little bit of sense. The BKB does stop the Desolate, so I guess there's that. And we see also that Ecstasy decided to stop the Desolate build for a little bit of Spectral Dagger points and 1 point Dispersion. Actually, quite interesting. It shows that he's also away, that he just needs to get back up. The Desolate build is a build that you use in Russian teams a lot because of how aggressive you can be with it. But hey, this new, especially he's not going for Radiance, so he knows that he's doing something to, you know, prevent him from losing early, which is the danger here. And it's quite smart on this on Ecstasy's part. It's actually quite a good choice on his part. Oh well. The Bloodlust on the Morphin is going to allow him to actually fight most of these heroes one-on-one. And Morphin is going for a Scotty or a Manta. That's, oh, actually, no. Morphin is going for a Manta. He's going to be able to take this tower down really easily. The Clock comes in, and that a little bit late. The Stampede comes in as well. Horus tries to kill the Clockwork. Clockwork's still not dead. There it is. That double edge is enough. Plus that ultimate from the Lich. And Dota is not hitting anyone right now with his weird ultimate. And the Fame trying to stop the TP away. But he didn't manage to. Dota, on the other hand, is going to die thanks to a beautiful Boar Staff by the Fame. And they're going to be able to take this tower down easily. I think it was quite a mistake by the Fame not deciding to go for the tower instead of, you know, he went for the TPing guy, which is a high-risk thing. But they can easily take the tower, get a little bit extra gold. It's a little bit better. And actually, Ecstasy is going to be in trouble here. He does have the Spectral Dagger, but I don't know how well it's going to serve him. Yeah, he just used it. He's going to probably use it to TP away. There's no stun. And yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake, I think, Ecstasy on Hefner part using that Stomp. He could have easily stomped him away. But hey. The Manta coming on the Morphling, so they're really, also that gives him a little bit more pushing power, which is great on an early to mid-game team. It's only 26 minutes in, there's still 14 minutes against, until like the Spectre gets into late game, probably. The Razor's doing pretty well in terms of items. He's already got an Aghanims, he's got the Mechanism, but no BKB. Which is an interesting choice that he going for Aghanims before BKB. I guess he just does want to deal some damage, and with a Mech and a BKB, he's not going to deal any. So that's a good point. And the Spectre's still going to take him at least 14 minutes to get decent items. He's going to go for Diffusal first. So it's not the greatest for now. The Zeus is actually went for the Aghanim, so that's oh nice. So he knows how to do the order for the Zeus. That's actually really powerful. This is a great, it's a great order. But it's interesting it's going for an Aghanims. I think Veil Discord is better, especially because it deals more damage overall. Like the damage you can deal with a Veil Discord is much better than the damage you can deal with Aghanims. But I don't know. The Aghanims is really criticized by pros, but it's not the worst pickup either. It's not like it's not viable. It's not viable, but it's not really the best build in my opinion. I think Veil Discord is actually much better, especially in the lineup they are right now. And the Heart Rest coming on Central Warren, that's quite interesting to see. He's probably going to be just one of like the tankiest heroes. And he's done the 3 cores in CMDT, especially the Morph thing, are actually farming really well. So that's going to be quite a great advantage. They're not going to let the enemy team get the late game. I think that's the point. They're going to get to the late game before, like I said, and now completely stomp them, which is kind of what they're doing in terms of farm at least. And Allure actually managed to get a lot of kills here. And the Spectral Dagger coming in, what is he planning on doing? He's trying to kill the Morphling, but I don't think he's aware of how the Morphling can kill him. No shotgun build though, so that's probably going to be hard for him. That's why you get the E-Blade instead of the Manta. But the Manta will also give him a little bit more pushing potential, so I'm not against the idea of Manta. Manta's I keep having trouble. I need to check the pronunciation for these guys. get used to one thing, but manta sounds weird, and but it's like, of course, it's like I was thinking like manga and manga. I pronounce manga, but mana or mana. Mana sounds nice. Mana. In English, Spanish, it's like that. Mana doesn't sound bad either. I don't know. I feel like a British person. Oh no, Baron is actually in trouble. But he's actually stunned both of them. What a beautiful stun by his part. That's gonna be Razor and Spectre both stunned. Alright. Anyway, had a brief moment. Had a brief moment there. Anyway, just had to take a little bit of time. But, Morphling clearing these creeps as the Aegis, so, I mean, the Aegis doesn't last that long anymore, so he should probably be using it. He's definitely going for E-Blade next. I mean, this, unless he's going for Butterfly. It could be a possibility, actually. Butterfly would not be a crazy idea in this case. I know shotgun build is really viable. It's not like Morphling in that area without the shotgun. The only issue is that Butterfly does not give him extra stats, so that's not that great. The Manta does. Butterfly doesn't. A Scotty would also be a possibility. I would not discard the possibility of a Scotty. If he doesn't want to go for the shotgun build, it's perfectly fine, honestly, at this point, because he has dedicated to, I mean, he has so much gold that he can easily deal the physical damage, which I would assume he was lacking in the, if he wasn't able to farm, but he farms so well that he obviously deals so much physical damage right now. And that Floodlust is also going to combine really well with him. And see, that's stable. Oh no, Allure is actually going to die kill completely, but the Aegis is going to save him. And actually, the Centaur actually managed to get a kill. I didn't see where, but oh well. The Stampede is coming up as well. Devil is going to be stunned with a Fire Blast at 3 times multicast. Poor Devil. He's not going to go down. That is the double edge. The double edge necessary to finish him off. And that's a destroyed tower. That's going to go down completely. And the barracks is probably going to go down as well. It's going to be game 1, I'm assuming, really. They could easily go for Throne at this point. There's nobody that was buyback except for the Razor and the Spectre, obviously. And they're going to go for the triple racks. Really smart on their part. Not going for the Throne yet. There's no need to. And this is going to give them quite a huge advantage. The Bloodlust, though. The Bloodlust on Hivned. And the E-Blade. Oh, the E-Blade and the Morphling. He actually did get that. So now it's going to be a shotgun build completely. He has so much agility that's going to deal a lot of damage. In fact, I think he could easily one-shot the Spectre if the Spectre was in a bad position at this point. Not like one-shot him with full health, but he was like half health or so. Easily. And that's gonna be double racks. They're gonna retreat actually, which is weird. I wouldn't do that at all. I guess it's possible. I don't know. It's not the smartest choice in this meta because of, you know, how easily they can come back in there. We see it, Allure in trouble because now the whole team is there. Allure couldn't get away still. He has waveform. And now they're going to start another team fight. And that's going to be the shotgun build, killing the Spectre. Devil Dota blast that ultimate for the Lich. It's actually going to deal a lot of damage. Skova in trouble. Skova could be dying next. Yes. And goodbye to Trendy. Is he the next one to die? Either next casualty? We don't know yet. Trendy, tricking the Morphling. Very smart on his part. Horse has Fire Blast. He's trying to use it. He has Ignite. He's in a match to get it off. And Trendy is being slowed right now. They all want to kill this last guy. Only a Spectre is alive right now. And there's no buyback on anyone. And the GG comes out from CMDT. We're going to move on to match 2, boys. Wow. What a beautiful job by CMDT. What a beautiful job by CMDT, honestly. I'm sorry, by CMDT and by Page 1. By Page 1 actually surprised me a lot here. They picked the build, which I was kind of surprised with, but still, somehow, they managed to do really well with it. Honestly, the Morphling managed to, like, farm so well. It was just amazing. So, this is the best of 3, so the pressure is now on CMDT to do a little bit better. Well, that's quite quite interesting to see. We're gonna see them on pressure. We're gonna see the pressures on them, and let's see if they can actually live up to the pressure. Well, I love you, DSwordfish, your English caster for today. Next, will be joining me will be my co-caster Phobos, and thank you for tuning in. Feel free to check my Twitter at DSwordfish or Alvarosave on Twitch or my Facebook Darklight, whatever you choose. See you guys next time.